It's best to face the music. Apple's iOS is better than Google's Android. Not in every way, mind you. Still, there are definitely areas where iOS has the higher ground. When you take user-friendliness, updates, and not to mention the ecosystem into consideration, iOS is just better than Android. Even in the hardware department, with the optimization that Apple offers with iOS and the hardware, even 60 FPS feels smooth. So, what else does iOS do better than Android? Watch today's video to find out. If we had to describe the iOS user interface and experience, it would be consistent. iOS rarely changes its UI and UX, maybe once after many updates. This constant theme or style in the user interface gives it that clean look that many love. The last thing that an average user needs is an inconsistent OS, and that's Android. With Android, there are various changes to the UI and UX. You don't have to look far, just look at Google's app icons. Even a few years ago, they had a different design, shape, and color scheme. As for skins, if you have seen Oxygen OS, Color OS, or One UI, you will surely know how different one gets from another. The last thing an average consumer wants is disruptive changes when it comes to user interface and experience. With every drastic change, the user needs to relearn an operating system that they have been using for a long time. With iOS, major redesigns happen once in a full moon. The first major redesign happened back in 2013 with iOS 7. So, guess when the next major redesign happened? It was back in 2019. And just like that, Apple takes time with changes, and they understand that people love changes but not unfamiliarity. That's why the changes in the UI and UX elements are slow-paced and happen gradually. When it comes to navigation, there's no doubt iOS is much easier to navigate than Android. This is because Apple keeps its operating system as clean and straightforward as it possibly can, with no unnecessary widgets and customization. Such a simple interface indeed leaves us yearning for a bit more freedom to make the interface truly ours. But when you consider other factors, simple is better. With Android, the sky is the limit with customization. They have all the widgets in the world, all the themes and launchers. But unfortunately, such abundance also makes it somewhat complicated. In short, iOS beats Android in terms of user-friendly interface and experience. iOS is much more stable than Android, even with its beta releases. Yes, you can daily drive an iOS beta build, and of course there will be bugs, but the bugs are very unlikely to push you off the edge and to the public build. Even with updates, iOS is far more polished than Android. You might ask someone to wait to upgrade their Android, but you can confidently advise someone to update their iPhone on day one. While enthusiast users will find ways to fix the bugs or create a way around them that doesn't represent the average users, no one wants updates that break their phones. But yes, the problem isn't strictly with Google's stock Android. Their problem lies in the fact that unlike Apple, there are more than 10 vendors of Android devices, and each puts a twist on the UI and UX. So, for Google to optimize the update for every device does not seem feasible. That's why the performance varies from one Android to another. With iOS, there's one creator and vendor, Apple. This gives them such an upper hand when it comes to tailoring the experience to each generation of phones that even devices as old as the iPhone 6s Plus will get the latest updates. Speaking of, iOS or everything else in the Apple ecosystem receives updates and other security patches for the longest time. Such can be said about Android. Besides being cut off quickly, the rollout time is also different. In summary, when it comes to stability and getting updates for the longest time, nothing beats iOS. When it comes to performance, the winner isn't as straightforward, but generally, iOS is a lighter operating system than Android. Even the most feature-rich phone doesn't have nearly as much RAM as the latest Android phones. Take the Lenovo Legion Dual 2. It has 18GB of RAM, whereas the iPhone 13 Pro Max comes with a mere 6GB. And yet, you can do so much more with the latest iPhone. So, how's Apple doing that? All the credit goes to the optimization that Apple does and can do. Since they develop their chips and cherry-pick the hardware, the optimization is second to none. That's why, even with minimal resources, iOS can crunch more data and do more. That's also why scrolling on an iPhone feels much smoother even at 60 FPS. Unfortunately, such cannot be said about its Google counterpart. But then again, Android isn't to blame, rather the vendors or smartphone manufacturers. Stuffing too much glamour in your phone will obviously result in a more resource-hungry machine. Since the apps we use are getting more powerful with every update, it's only natural that the hardware won't be able to keep up. When you mix the apps and the glamorous skin on your Android, it becomes a master battery guzzler. And as for security, iOS is more secure than Android. Yes, there have been exploits, breaches and more, but such leaks and breaches happen less on the iOS camp. Thanks to the closed nature of iOS, sideloading a third-party app is more troublesome than just buying something from the App Store. Also, Apple has a tendency to treat you like you're new to the smartphone. In other words, it puts restrictions and double checks every time you confirm or turn off a feature. While enthusiast users might find that irritating to some extent, the average consumer does not care. Instead, the average consumer cares that they and the data are protected from the boogeyman of the internet. So, with all these restrictions in place, iOS objectively becomes more secure than Android. With Android, sideloading apps is easier than stealing candy from a baby. You can even take it a step further by rooting your phone. While all these have their perks, it also introduces security risks and makes you more vulnerable to attacks, spyware, and whatnot. But it's the price you pay for the freedom you enjoy. As for privacy, Android and iOS are polar opposites. For example, Android packs money through advertisements, so they need your data for more curated ads. On the flip side, Apple lets you limit data tracking when apps access your GPS. In addition, with the latest private relay and hide my email features, you can better secure yourself. So, if you're conscious about what you're doing, iOS and Android won't matter much. But objectively and for the average consumer, iOS is a far more secure and privacy-centric operating system. So, that's all about why and how iOS is better than Android. Even with their flaws, both have revolutionized the smartphone world. Which one do you prefer? Let us know in the comment section below. Like and share with your friends if you found this video helpful. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this on your feed.